Hello and welcome to another Tabletop Ramblings Middle-earth strategy battle game battle report. Today's game pitches Helms Guard Legendary Legion against the fearsome horde of orcs and dunlendings of Isengard. Defending the Westfold, we have 600 points of Helms Guard. That is Helm Hammerhand on horse, with 3 mounted royal guards with throwing spears, a chap with a banner, throwing spear and shield, and 8 warriors with throwing spears and shields. And in this Legendary Legion, throwing spears can also be used as spears. Then, supporting Helm, we have 2 identical warbands of captains with horse and shield, and they have 2 riders with throwing spear and 4 warriors with shield and throwing spear. And that is 600 points of Helm's Guard. Intent on destroying Rohan is this Isengard list. We have Thryden, who is the leader, and he is going to be representing a miscellaneous Dunlending chieftain of ages gone, as this doesn't take place at the timeline of War of the Ring, as Helm is a historical character. So we're going to be using Thryden, but for the sake of fluff, we'll pretend he's his great-great-granddad. He's on a horse, and he's leading 5 Dunlending Warriors with shield, 2 with bow, and 2 with two-handed weapon. And he's also got 3 berserkers in there. And then there are 3 identical warbands led by warg riding shield-bearing captains. And they have 12 orcs with them. 4 with shield, 4 with spear, and 4 with bow, for a mighty number of warriors, 48 warriors plus the 4 heroes for a huge evil force, and that is 600 points of Isengard. This is the table for today, an outlying Rohan settlement that's about to come under siege, and there are 4 objective markers. They are the big 40mm Rohan objective markers, not used those for a while, but they do show up a little bit better on camera. And they are in that diamond formation because today's battle is Breakthrough. Breakthrough focuses largely on those objectives. Deployment is up to the halfway mark, and these 2 central objectives are worth 1 victory point if you can contest it, and 2 if you can have complete control over it. And then your own objective is worth 1 victory point. But the other side's objective is worth 2 or 4 if you fully claim it. So it's all about pushing forward and breaking through, as the scenario is aptly called. There's also a victory point for wounding the enemy leader, 2 for killing them, and then 1 for breaking the enemy, for a total, as always, of 12 victory points. The game ends once one force has been reduced to 25%. And as we've said, deployment is up to that halfway point. So we'll roll for deployment and see whose warband is going down first. And it's a 3-1 for the red dice, which is evil. So Isengard will deploy first. That's the forces deployed. The orc and Dunlending host have just spread along, getting the objectives, while the forces of Rohan have deployed slightly back of the centre so that they can get the charge off and some throwing spears. And then here, they've pushed up slightly further forward with the infantry towards the halfway point, leaving the cavalry able to countercharge. And on this flank, a similar kind of story. They're hoping to whittle down the forces of evil and then break through onto those objectives. But with the numbers so heavily against Rohan, it is going to be an uphill struggle for Helm and his comrades. So with that, we'll roll for first turn priority. And it goes to evil. End of turn 1 movement, and evil have just pushed forward. On the left flank, they've managed to engage the infantry, with the captain getting into combat. The archers coming around to the flanks as sacrificial lambs, which Rohan have then taken advantage of and charged. In the centre, the horde just pushed forward. They've not really got an answer to Helm Hammerhand and his heroic combats and his high strength and fight. So they've just formed a bit of a loose wall, with then the spearmen supported guys behind, just to try and slow him down while they go and slaughter on the flanks. Speaking of the flanks, on this side, the captain's gone in on the captain, and then he's had infantry form up around him so that he can't get overwhelmed. The riders have charged in and killed one with a throwing spear on the way in. These guys are not going to try and take on 8 guys by themselves, so they are just going to stand still and throw throwing spears, which again is the plan in the centre for these guys who didn't move. Although the cavalry move back, so that depending on who gets priority, they'll be able to charge in and not get overwhelmed fighting there and potentially getting countercharged. With that, we'll go into the shoot phase. And down here, we have Rohan ready to volley some throwing spears. We've got these 5, they stayed still. They're just going in at that front rank there. They're hitting on 4s, dear me. Even at that close range, only 1 hit. And they're wounding on 5s because they're only defense 5, and that's a kill. So the guy straight in front takes a wound and dies. Or do they go for him? Let Helm go through? No, they're just going to go for the guy in front. So then these 4 here are just going to throw into this guy in the chat behind. If by some miracle they're able to kill him. 2 hits. Again, he does have a shield. He's got a shield on his back. So he is defense 5, going down on 5s. Oh, and there's the 6. The throwing spear has killed him. So that's an orc and a dunlending down. And 2 orc archers to throwing spears in the movement phase. Then we have these 4, and they're just going to throw into the guys in front of them. That's not bad there. Same again would be very good for Rohan. 3 hits, 2 kills. Taking down a good number of orcs and men there in the shoot phase. Then we go into the combat phase as all of the orc bowmen are have either moved full or are in combat. There's a couple of dunlendings at the back, but they have a lot of in the way, so they're just back on that objective. Start of the fight phase, and Helm is calling a free heroic combat. In this legion, he gets a free point of might and a free heroic combat every turn, making him very, very powerful. And then here, this captain is calling a heroic combat as well, just against that chap there. The Rohan captain is not going to call. All he can really do is kind of get an orc, and it's just not really worth it for him. He could try and protect him going behind, but it seems a waste of might when on these flanks moving first is going to be very helpful mid-game. So there's a heroic on either side. A 1 or 2 or 3, it goes to evil. On a 4+, it goes to good. On the 1, it will be evil going first. On this left flank then, the captain calling a heroic combat against that infantry. The infantry is going to shield, although on a 3 high, he has definitely lost. He's then getting wounded on 5s. These are double strikes, but not even needed. That captain there obliterates the warrior, and then, as feared, he goes round to trap that rider. Then we have Helm Hammerhand's heroic combat. He has 4 dice on the charge. We'll give him tabletop ramblings dice against 2 guys who could shield and make him work for it. Yeah, they're going to shield and make him hopefully either spend resources or at least maybe not get some kills. Ooh, so close. It is to low roll there from both sides, but on a 4 high, the Might of Helm Hammerhand wins that on fight value. So we'll scoop up those dice. He then has double strikes. He is strength 5 on defense 5. So wounding on 4s, but he's also got his burly 2-handed sword. So that's down to 3. So on the orc, smashes him to pieces. And on the Dunlending, smashes him to pieces with a 5 and a big tabletop rambling 6. So he's killed both of those. And then he gets to move again, and he could push forward towards Thryden, or he could play safer and just pull back. We'll measure it in a moment, but he's going to be 6 and a touch away from him so that he guarantees himself the charge bonus. We'll move back to the left-hand side, and we'll do this combat here. This trapped rider against the warg captain and 2 friends. We'll let the rider set the bar on a 5. That's doable. So the captain only has 2 now because he's charged cavalry. The captain will be the gold. And he also gets a 5 and wins on fight value. There is a fight value buff going round for Rohan, but it's around the very far away Helm Hammerhand. So it definitely won't reach up there. Then the defensive 5, it will be the dice needing 5s all around, and these are double strikes. Oh dear, that one's cocked and also very low. And there we go, an archer does the deed and kills that rider. We then have a 1-on-1 here, but the Rohirrim charged. That orc's going to stab, because why not? He has lost, and now he's taking double strikes, wounded on 5s, and he's dead. Didn't even need to see if the stabbing damage hurt him. We then have 2 on the charging captain, 1 on his bisbot. And it's a 6 all around, but the fight value of the captain takes it. These are then double strikes needing 5s, and he's killed. Very high casualty game, as everything has quite low defense in these armies. There's only the few Royal Guard and Helm and those captains that are defense 6 and above. So everything's going down quite quickly. We then have this 2-on-1, and the Rohirrim is going to shield. It doesn't make a difference though. 6 does it, that 5 cocked, but it doesn't matter. And then 5s to wound. No, he is safe, so he backs away. We then have these 2-on-1s. The Rohirrim are going to fight it because evil are attacking across a barrier. It does go to evil, but they have to roll an in the way for the barrier. 1 hits the barrier, 1 hits the man. Does it kill him? No. And then evil back away because they were attacking a barrier and they didn't successfully kill. And then have this other 1-on-2, and again, Rohan's going to fight it and win. Defending a barrier, he has no in the ways, so just rolling 5+ to kill, and he gets him. And that orc is dead. And the spearman, of course, making way for his friend that's now dead. We then come right across to the right-hand side, where we have the captain fight off. 2 attacks on 2 attacks, no charge bonuses there. And it definitely goes to evil. That is big there. So the warg riding captain will be wounding on 6s. So the first strike is going after the horse on 4s. No, horse again. Yes, that captain has lost his horse. So on the throne rider, it's a 1, but he is an expert rider. So we can re-roll to another 1. So the captain is knocked off his horse and he is prone. That is very, very poor work there from that captain. Oh dear me. Can the other riders do better? We have 2 on 1 there, but the rider is charging. No, they beat him and they're going to wound him on 5s. And it's a 5. Oh, both the flanks are suffering badly here. We then have a 1 on 2 because this guy killed one of his opponents on the charge with a throwing spear and he wins. That's more like it, warrior, or rider rather, of Rohan. So first set of double strikes splatters him. And that is how Rohan are meant to do it. So that is the end of the turn. We'll just lie him down so that we remember to put his dismount on and that he is prone, which is a very poor position for him to be in. And then with this quick overview of the lines, we'll roll for priority. And it's a draw, so this time it swings to good as evil had it last. With good priority in the centre, the captain and Thryden are happy to just allow these forces to charge. There's no point trying to get through and charge there. They're better off counter-charging. But here, this captain, it's called a heroic move at his last point to try and overwhelm these Rohirrim. And this 2-weapon captain has countered. And then over on this flank, the prone captain is countering this warg captain's call. So evil in a good position here. Whichever one they win is going to really hurt Rohan. And whichever one Rohan lose is going to really hurt. So a roll off. 1, 2, 3, it goes to evil to decide, and it does. And so they are going to pounce on this prone captain and do this heroic move first. After that heroic combat, the captain and a spearman have charged in on the prone Rohan captain. And then these guys have just tried to tie up the infantry, while the archers and a spearman have gone on to trap that cavalry and try and bring him down and end the threat on this right flank. Heroic move on the left flank. This captain's charged in, and then the infantry and this cavalry have all charged. The cavalry tying up the enemy captain, and then the infantry just trying to hold the line. There's not a lot that good can do here really, but at least they've managed to get the charges off. No throwing spears were successful, although this guy did manage to hit the warg, but he couldn't quite take it out. That would have been a big blow there to the forces of evil, but it wasn't meant to be. So with that, it's now the normal moves. End of the movement phase, and it is all kicking off. On this flank, evil just rearranged a few spear supports, nothing too major. On this flank, there was nothing they could do, and the 2 Royal Guard left the centre to support. The Royal Guard has pulled the captain away from the prone Rohan captain, and this one has come round the back just to try and smash this flank, turn the tide, and get onto an objective. In the centre, the forces of good charged in. This Royal Guard bottled it by killing his intended target with a throwing spear, which was a 2-handed Dunlending, which then meant all he could do was pull back and attack this guy. So he was unable to block off this by charging 2, which then meant the captain could get through. And here, with those 2 spearmen moving apart, has allowed Thryden to go in for either a really good evil combat or a really good combat, depending on who wins the inevitable strike off. So it's looking like it's going to be a very bloody turn. Let's go into shooting. So there's actually no shooting. We'll go into the combat phase instead. And unsurprisingly, Helm is using his 3 point of might for a strike, and Thryden is using his 1st point of might to counter. We then have this pointing captain, who is calling a heroic combat. It's brave, but if he can kill them, push them back, he can join in on Helm Hammerhand. And then over here, we have this captain calling a heroic combat as well. This captain's out of might, so he might as well just to try and break through, because it's looking bleak. And the charge bonus isn't really going to help at this point, now that there's not really any mounted units. If all these guys die, his charge bonus is going to do nothing, because he'll get counter-charged anyway. Then over here, this captain is also calling a heroic combat, because he wants to kill him and then jump in on the beleaguered captain. So a lot of heroics. We'll roll off to see whether good or evil are going first. And on that Imps Gaming 6, it's going to be the forces of good. So we'll do this combat here. So it's this charging Rohan captain against 4 orcs. We'll let them set the bar on a 6, the joyful misprinted 7, and the charging Rohan captain on a tabletop rambling 6 with 2 5s as well to boot. The old faithful dice there. So wounding, oh, he's actually a spearman, so wounding him on 4s. No, double 1s. Oh, dearie me, he can't even kill the spearman. He has killed the spearman, but unfortunately, he bottled it that many times. He was unable to kill the other guy, and that heroic combat does not go off. That is a huge wasted opportunity and waste of might there from Rohan. We'll come along to the centre, where we have this captain against 4. And we'll let the 4 set the bar. They get a 5 high, they do have a banner reroll. To a 6, so they are doing well. They're fight 4, same as the captain, because they're within 6 inches of Helm. And they have won. Wow. Captain only getting a 4 high. He's got a point of might, but not enough. He's regretting calling that heroic now. They are... Do they go for the warg, or do they just try and kill the captain? They're going to try and kill the captain. On 6s... No, and they couldn't even get a 5 to wound the warg if they'd have gone for it. So he just backs away. Some very poor heroic combats here, as we then pan across to this final heroic combat. It's the captain against the Royal Guard. Even fight, no charge bonuses, and it goes to the Royal Guard, who is then going to return the captain's favour and stab his horse. But no, on a 1, nothing whatsoever. But that heroic combat has failed to go off, which has helped out this prone captain. We'll stick with the fights on this right-hand side, and we'll do this very unlucky rider against 3 orcs. Ooh, but not that unlucky, as he has drawn the fight. 1, 2, 3, it's evil, but it's a 5 and it goes to good. He is going to go after the spearman, but he doesn't kill. However, simply the fact that he is alive is quite incredible. We then, I will do the prone captain. He is of course going to shield against the fighting normally orc, who wins. And that captain, has he got any might left? We'll just double check. So this captain on a 5 with the orc on a 6 has 1 point of might, but he's not going to spend it. He's going to take the double strikes for being prone, because this captain is out of might. So it means he'll be able to call a heroic move next time, stand up and charge, and importantly, allow his cavalry to get charge bonuses. So he's going to take those 2 hits. He's only getting wounded on 6s. Ooh, close. And he's fine. So that gamble pays off. He is still prone, but he backs away safely. We then have this 2 on 2. And the orc is going to... Oh, in fact, he's not going to piercing strike because he doesn't need to. And it's a good job, because he has lost that fight. Will the orc die on 5s? No chance. Not on a 1 and a 2, so they back away. We've then got... with good priority, they'll trap this guy. So 2 on 1, the orc is going to shield and win on a 3 high. Well done, Mr. Orc. We've then got the Spearman against charging Royal Guard. Spearman has no shield. He does get a 6. The Royal Guard is fight 4. So then first set of double strikes does nothing. And the second gets the kill. So that Royal Guard there getting a kill. The other one managing to foil his attempts at killing the captain. So quite successful there on that flank with the Royal Guard. We'll come back to the centre. First off though, we'll do the left flank, where we actually have a favourable Rohan fight. It's a 2-on-1. The Orc is going to shield and win, pushing them back. We then have this Axeman against 2. He's going to have to shield. It's only a draw on a 3, and it goes to good. So the archers back away, but they back away in such a way that they can't both be charged together, so that they can't be tied up. And then we have the Warg on Rider, and that is the Warg Rider captain, who loses the fight there to a 6. That is good work there from the Rider. The captain's out of might, so he's going for his Warg. No, these Wargs seem to be fairly indestructible. That is a massive inch, the actress said to the bishop. So then we'll move across to the centre. And this is a big, big mess. We'll do this one first. It's a 4-on-1. So he is definitely going to be shielding against those orcs. It doesn't help him, but he may well have a banner. We'll roll it and then we'll see if it matters. Oh, so it does matter. Let's just measure that. No, that is out. So he has lost and dies, breaching the flank there. We've then got, this is a 2-on-1. So again, that Rohirrim is going to shield. They just need to survive long enough for Helm to do some work. We'll re-roll that because it's cocked. And then this one for the banner, which is in range of him. It's a draw. And it goes to good. So these 2 are pushed back. And then we have this 2 on... Oh, in fact, it is a 2 and a charging Royal Guard against 2. So that's 4 dice for Rohan. And they do win on a 5. So then the Royal Guard, double strikes, needing 5s, and 2 6s will definitely do it. So he has slaughtered that Orc, which leaves just 1 fight left. It is Helm against Thryden. We'll do the roll off for their strikes. We'll do that after we find out who has won the fight. We'll see if they can both get a 6. So we'll let Evil set the bar. Evil have 4 guys in the fight plus Thryden. So the 4 plebs get a 5 high, and then Thryden himself, ooh, only a 3. So if Helm gets, just on 3 dice, if Helm can get high enough, he'll win. He's only got a 3. So he has to spend 2 points of might from his store to get a draw. So Helm spends all 3 might from his store to get the 6 and guarantee the win. That's the only real thing he can do there. He does get his free 1 each turn, so he's not completely out of might now, but that's the only way he can guarantee that win. Let's do the roll-off out of interest. Who would have won the roll-off? Oh, Helm won anyway. So Helm now making strikes. He is the strength 5 burly against Thryden's defense 5. So he's wounding on 4s down to 3s. He's going to put them all in on Thryden. And that's 3 6s on Thryden, who is 2 wounds, 2 fate. So he's going to take both his fates and pass both. He loves it. So these guys back away, and Thryden lives to tell a fabled story another day, assuming that next turn Helm doesn't cut him down. So that is Thryden, 1 wound, no fate, but he's sapped all of Helm's might. That is still not the worst outcome for Evil. That's the end of the turn. A very bloody turn yet again. let's roll for priority. And it goes to the forces of good. In the centre, with Helm having burnt all of his might to stay alive, he's only got his free point, which he's going to need for a strike. So this captain is calling a heroic move, and there's nothing that the forces of good can do about it. On the flanks, however, both of those captains are out of might, so it will be good priority as normal on the flanks. But in the centre, the captain screaming with me is going first. End of the move phase. The heroic move in the centre was brutal. Rohan have been surrounded, the banners engaged, lots of traps. They are going to lose a lot of people this turn. Thryden, 2 berserkers and a spearman have managed to get in on the fight, and it is going to be a very tense strike off. The captain going in on 2 as well, just to try and thin out those numbers in the centre. Over here, a little bit better for Rohan, with everyone charging into combat. No throwing spears did anything, but they've managed to tie everything up. Over on this flank, it was throwing spear central, with 3 tabletop rambling 6s to kill on about 4 or 5 throwing spears. It was absolutely brutal. The captain would have taken a wound, except for the fact that it's up down on the warg, and so instead it just went up and then it was a 2. This guy managed to kill the chap here and get into combat on the captain. There was the spearman that got killed, at least someone else, I can't even remember. It was just a brutal turn for throwing spears. Everything going down. Cavalry have now been able to charge all of those infantry on the flanks. So this right flank is looking really good for Rohan, although the rest of the battlefield is very much up for grabs. Again, there's no shooting, everything's in combat. There are the 2 archers up there, but there's no decent shots for them to take. So we'll go into the combat phase. Start of the combat phase, and unsurprisingly, Thryden and Helm are calling heroic strikes. The only other point of out on the board, other than those 2, is this big beefy captain here. But he's not going to bother calling anything. He's going to save that for either a move next turn or for being able to pump up his roll and win the fight. As we're over here, we'll start off on this flank, and we'll start off with this Royal Guard against a Spearman. Spearman has no shield, he has to fight, and he loses on the 1. So double strikes, wounding on 5s, kills him. Absolutely brutal there. We then have another 1 on 1 fight with a charging infantry, charging Rohan, who has won there, and then double strikes, doesn't even need his double strikes, he just gets him with the +1 for the charge, and then again it's another 2 on 1, but it's 2 dice apiece with the charge. Ooh, it nearly went to evil, but a 6 there from the Royal Guard. He's won. Not killed on the first set, but he has on the second. 3 for 3 so far this turn. Sees Rohan very strong on that flank. We'll do this one here. It's a 2 on 1, and that orc, he's just going to piercing strike. Why not? Go brave. Oh, he loses. If he'd shielded, he still wouldn't have helped him. And 5s to wound. Oh no, it's not. Although, what does his defense go down to? His defense goes down to defense potato. So from 5, it goes down to 4, 3, 2. Well, that's still not enough for 3s to wound him. So he backs away, and there we go. That's some proper maths, that, doing it on your fingers. He backs away, and then we have the captain on captain. We'll roll the evil captain, let him set the bar on a 4 high. We then have good captain, also on a 4, and his 2 friends getting 5. So they have won that combat. He can back away, but then they're going to be making strikes against him. And the infantry are going to go after the captain, needing 6s. That's 1 wound. So a wound on the captain, and then the good captain is also going to go for him, needing 6s, but nothing. So that's just 1 wound on the warg captain, and he is still alive. We'll then come across to the left-hand side. We'll save the centre for later, where we've got this 2-on-1. Can that cavalryman do what his brothers have over there? He has 1. He then needs 5s to kill and gets him. The Rohan cavalry have been incredibly lethal. Everyone always complains that Helms Guard don't have that strength 4, but it doesn't seem to be making a difference here. Although against defense 5 enemies, it would be irrelevant anyway. So we'll maybe let them have that. We then have this 2-on-2 because the warrior is going to shield against the captain. It's a draw, but the captain wins on fight value. He then needs 5s to kill him, and he's butchered another Rohirrim. Rohan haven't got that many casualties, although each one is quite painful for Rohan as they are outnumbered despite the heavy losses that evil have had inflicted on them. So then we have this 1-on-1, and they're both just going to fight it. It goes to evil, wounding on 5s. No, not quite. He's going to back away close to the objective. In fact, he's going to back away, helping out, forming a bit of a wall. We then have another 1-on-1, which goes to good. 5s to kill. And it's a 6. Rohan's luck has been incredible. Now, very, very strong this game. We've then got a 3, because that spearman fought against the charging captain. So it's 3 apiece. 3 dice apiece. And it goes to the captain on fight value. The orcs did their best at a 6. The captain wins. So needing a 4 on the bowman and a 5 on the other guy. So on the bowman, no. Bowman again. Yay! He's finally killed him. And then the other guy does also die. So he's killed them. And that doesn't leave that many on that flank. The flanks, where I honestly thought Rohan were going to struggle, they have dominated. But the centre is where this battle could well be decided. So we'll do Thryden and Helm last. First off, we'll do... Oh, it's absolute carnage, isn't it? We'll do this fight here. It's 1-on-2. Rohan will shield, just trying to stay alive. They do have the fight value because of the proximity to Helm, and he's 1. So he just pushes them back. And is there any way that he can back away and still trap Helm? No, there isn't. So he's just going to back away over this way there. We then have 3 on the charging captain, so it's 3 dice apiece. The captain loses and he's out of might. Wow, that is poor. And they're going to go after his warg. So first guy on his warg, second guy, third guy. Wow, 3, 2, 1. That captain just backs away and does not care. What else have we got along here? We then have a Royal Guard fighting that chap there. Clear away some of these dice. So we've got, it's just a 1-on-1. It's a draw, so it goes to the Royal Guard on fight value. He's fight 5 around Helm, but he does not kill. So he backs away. We then have some nasty, nasty traps here. Although this guy's no longer trapped, so we'll do a 2-on-1. It's good priority. So making good use of that. He should have been shielding there, but he didn't. Banner reroll. Oh, to a 3. It's not high enough. He's not taking double strikes, but 1 is all it takes, and he is dead. We then have this guy here. It's just a 1-on-1 by the looks of it. So a 1-on-1 goes to good. Can he kill that Firebrand Spearman? No, he backs away. We then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 1. That is not good at all for Rohan. He's going to shield. He looks like he's within 6 of Helm. So if he gets the draw, which he nearly does on a 5, he would have won. But as it is, he is taking a lot of strikes here. So 5, but doubled to 10, needing 5s. Yeah, he is super duper dead. However, not the kind of casualties that I was expecting there. The forces of evil struggling to bring down the Rohirrim, although there is now this fight here. It's the banner on 1. Banner has -1, but he can shield. Ooh, that 5 is down to a 4, needing a 6, and he gets it. And then being in range of Helm gives him the fight value. So that 6 down to a 5 wins on the draw and pushes back the orc. That is impressive work there from Rohan, although the only fight that matters at this point now is Helm versus Thryden. And then the 2 berserkers and spearmen in there for good measure. So we'll do the strike off. We'll see who's going to strike highest. And it does go to good. So Helm has the fight value in this fight. We'll let evil set the bar. So evil have 5 dice because of those 2 attack berserkers, and then Thryden with 2. So that's 7 dice, needing a 6 to put some pressure on Helm, and the berserkers easily get a 6 there. Then it's Helm. He has no might. He's used his free for the strike. He needs a natural 6, and the tabletop rambling 6 comes in. And he has won the fight, which means he's beaten Helm. Not Helm, he's beaten Thryden, and he's able to make strikes. So he's going to put his first strike on Thryden and kill him. He's then going after the berserkers, and he needs 4 down to 3 still on them, but he doesn't kill either of the berserkers. So the berserkers back away, but importantly, Thryden is dead. That is a big blow. Some would say a mighty blow for the forces of evil. That has been a very, very tense battle there, but Helm Hammerhand has come out on top. With that epic combat killing Thryden, that also sees evil broken, which is going to be a big factor in this battle now, with the low courage of the men and orcs. So rolling for priority, it goes to the forces of good, and evil are out of might. This could spell disaster now for the forces of evil. With good winning priority, they have just charged in, where able thought about just pulling back, but then Helm, who's looking to get kills, would have been overwhelmed. So they've just charged in. They've only gone 1-on-1s. There is a 1-on-2 there just to free up some guys and allow the banner to run to safety and onto that rear objective. So there's going to be a lot of evil courage tests. On this flank, the 3 cavalry, after successfully butchering those guys there, running off to the objective up there. Helm did think about heroic combating up, but from experience, if Helm abandons these guys, they will fall apart without the fight value and his combat presence. So he is going to stick it out down there. On this flank, they've got the objective just. They're looking to just slaughter those last 2, the orc and the captain. And then on the flank, here, this guy was killed by a throwing spear just before he got to take a courage test. And then that allowed this guy to get the trap. He was going to get the trap and be in combat, but he didn't need to in the end. And again, just they couldn't get the trap on him without charging these and trying to see if they could take courage tests. So they allowed them just to survive, although one did take that throwing spear. So there's going to be quite a lot of evil courage tests. We'll do those off camera just because it's really, really dull. After those courage tests, 6 chaps ran, which brings evil that little bit closer to 25%. Up here, the berserker passed with flying colours, as did one of the archers, who's going to be able to take a shot. and then everything was engaged on the flanks. But in the centre, a couple passed, but quite a lot fled, particularly from around here. That's when most of the guys fled. So there will be that one shot in the shoot phase. This guy is going to shoot straight into the Royal Guard. He hits, up or down? Up, needing a 6. Oh, so close. He nearly proved his worth there, but unfortunately he failed. So that's all the shooting. He is about 8.5 inches away. He can't quite throw his spear back. So we'll go into the combats. And we'll just start off down here. It's good priority. So they're going to do this chap first. And that orc is going to shield. The longer he can be a pain for, the more he can try and contest that objective. So they lose and back away. We then have the trapped captain. So we'll let the evil captain set the bar, and he has got a 6. So then we will roll for good. And we'll do big tabletop rambling 6 here, coming from the captain. No, 1s and 2s. That is poor. So the orc captain is going to go after plebs. Thin the numbers out. He needs 5 apiece. No, he doesn't kill either of them. They just back away, which gets them further towards the objective anyway. So not the end of the world there for the forces of good. We'll then come along to the centre. Oh, where in fact, not that it makes any difference, forgetting about it, that's rushing on with low battery. Helm is going to call his free heroic combat. Doesn't even cost him might, it's just a free combat, so he's going to call that. He has 4 attacks on the charge. Oh, he's only a 5 high. It's against a berserker and a spearman, who also get a 5, so he wins it on fight value there. He has won, and then to kill, needing 4s down to 3s on the berserker, gets him. The spearman gets him, and then we'll just see if the feel no pain from the berserker. Oh, it does, so he's got another 4 dice to kill that berserker. Just 2 more. Feel no pains. Oh, he saves 2 of the 3. But he is killed along with that spearman. So that's 2 more evil dead. And then he's going to go after the captain. So we'll do that fight now. Captain on Helm. Oh, Helm loses, but he has got his free point of might. So he's going to spend that to win the fight on fight value. And then he's going to go after the captain. He needs on defense 6, that captain. So he's going to need 5s down to 4s. Oh, just 1 wound on that captain. Captain can't be trapped when it's just 1 on either side. So he backs away. We then have this 1-on-1. It's a draw, but it goes to good because of the fight value buff. And it's a kill. Wow, evil falling thick and fast now. We then got 2-on-2. That Royal Guard did charge. Oh, and it goes to evil. So they are both strength 4, wounding on 5s. No. They let the side down there. That was a good opportunity for a kill. We've then got a 1-on-1. This spearman on 1. It goes to good. Oh, just wreck him. And, oh, not a kill. Dear me. So he backs away towards Scary Helm. And then we have a 4-on-1. So Rohan will shield there as he's trapped as well. But he wins! Wow. Unstoppable, these infantry. So Rohan push evil back there. And then we have this 1-on-1. That orc with the stone is a bowman. He's from the he's one of the dismounts for the Great Beast of Gorgoth. And he has won the only fight in banner range. Re-rolls it to a 5. Is he within 6 of Helm? Let's find something to measure. And do it the right way around would help. No, I don't think he is in. So it is a draw. 1, 2, 3, it goes to evil, but on a 5 it goes to good. Another 5 will kill him. No, it's a 3. So this guy backs away. That was brutal and bloody there. We'll then come across to the final few combats. We've got this 1-on-1, which is a draw, goes to Evil, and it's a kill. Evil have remembered how to get kills, they just don't do it very often. We'll then do the Evil captain setting the bar on a 2. The good captain wins on a 3, bare minimum, low effort. But then these attacks are doubled. So they all need, oh in fact no, the infantry, strength 3 on defense 6 will need 6s. And by that I mean the troops. So we'll roll their doubles, nothing, but then the captain is strength 4, so he'll need 5s. And he does 1 wound to that captain. So that's another wounded captain there. And that is the end of the fight phase. With their very, very depleted Evil force. We'll have a count up. I don't think they're at 25%, but they have taken a beating this turn. Absolute slaughter so far. Both sides taking casualties, although amazingly only 8 casualties for Rohan. They do have a small force, so it's hurt them quite a bit, but the fact that they have inflicted such heavy losses on Evil is amazing at this point. We'll roll for priority. Had a count up. Evil are not yet at 25%, but they are close. They only have 16 remaining, down from 52. That is good work from Rohan. So this may well be the last turn. Rolling for priority, and it does go to Evil. So the captain and Helm will both call heroic moves, as they both have might, and they want to be able to shut down the standfasts, at least for these sections of the board. Over on this flank, the captain's heroic has allowed him to overwhelm the Evil captain and get a guy in on this chap, able to keep him away from the objective. Then over here with Helm, we've managed to turn off the standfast for the captain and just charge in. No throwing spears have done anything so far, but they've managed to just tie stuff up. So then Evil's move. There are some standfasts. This captain passes with flying colours, and he is just going to charge in to this guy and roll around so that he is within 3 that's been pre-measured. Then this guy is going to run around and tie up the captain. That's the best that Evil can do there. Down here, there are a couple of courage tests. There's not very many, so we'll do them on camera. There's this chap here. Fails there on courage 3. This guy, passes. And he is just going to jump in on this guy. And then the archer fails. So that is all of those. There is the archer up here who fails, but then the very high courage berserker passes on a 10, and he is going to run right back so that he's out of charge range, but still within 3 of that objective. End of the movement phase, and the 2 cavalry that could move up on the objective and get within range have. Royal Guard that couldn't reach has just gone in for some combat. Then the banner has stayed on that objective. This guy's gone for the objective, so that if the captain does kill him, and if he'd been in and killed both of them, that objective would have gone to Evil without being contested. So this way it's just the safest option for Rohan. Everything else is just fighting for their lives. So there will be some shots. There's 2 throwing spears here that are going to try and take out that pesky berserker. So they've moved, hitting on 5s, both miss. That's the lackluster shooting done. We'll go into the combat phase, where, of course, Helm will be calling a heroic combat for free. So we'll start off there. He's 1 on the 6. These are double strikes, needing, I think, 2s to kill him. And he is dead. Then Helm is Going to ignore the captain, I think, to be safe. He's going to go for this guy who we must have forgotten to do a courage test for. But he's going to be fighting for his life now anyway. And Helm has won. So Helm there, cutting him down. Oh, with every dice. And that is another kill, bringing evil closer and closer to 25%. We then have shielding against that captain there. The captain, only draws the fight because they both fight 4. But it does go to the captain. He's out for blood, needing 5s. Kills him. Some vengeance there for evil. We then have a berserker on a shielding Warrior of Rohan. 1s all around. That is a draw because of the fight value buff from Helm. But evil wins. Then needing 5s. No, the berserker fails to get the kill. We then have a charging Royal Guard on a fighting Dunlending Warrior. A piercing, striking Dunlending Warrior. What's the point in going out small? So he has lost. If he'd shielded, would it have made a difference? No, it wouldn't have made a difference. And then it is not very much to wound him. That 4, what does his piercing strike go down to? Only down to a 4, so that 4 is not enough. He is not prone. We then have a 1-on-1 here. They're both just going to fight it. Cox does go to good. Needing a 5 to kill. It's killed him. Evil. Wow, for every kill they're getting, 3 of 4 orcs are going down. We then have a 1-on-1. It goes to good. A 4 though is not enough to kill that archer. Then a 1-on-1 against the Firebrand Spearman. Firebrand does it, but does not kill. And he backs away. Moving across from the centre to the right flank. We'll do this combat here. It is just 1 and a rider on the charge against an orc. So that is 3 against 2. I think he is going to shield. It doesn't help him because of the fight value of the Royal Guard. And then these are double strikes needing 5s. And he is dead. So that guy smashed into the dust and killed. We then have the epic captain duel. Evil captain gets a 5. Then we've got the good captain piercing striking on the tabletop ramblings dice. He also gets a 5 and has spent his might on that move. So it's a draw, but it goes to good. So looking to finish him off. He's taken a wound. He's still got his fate. We've got the 2 guys in the fight, double strikes because he's trapped, needing 6s. There's a wound. And then the captain, who is strength 5 because he's piercing struck with that axe, is looking for... actually, even though he's modeled with an axe, a captain can't have an axe, so he's not piercing struck because that would be cheating. So he still needs 6s. But he gets 2! Wow, and just like that, the captain's fate is null and void as Big Bear Captain has just ripped the orc a new one. So that flank there, well and truly in Good's possession. We come across though to these final fights where we have captain on 1 and captain on 1. The good captain first after the spearman wins, but does not kill, so he backs away, but there's no way you can get within 3 of that objective. We then have a shielding guy against the captain. Let's find some dice for this final fight. And he goes to good, pushing him back. And that is a final fight that's quite fitting. It really does sum up how evil have played all game. So that is the game. The evil force is well and truly quartered. There's no one on this flank. 1 up there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 52. They have been annihilated. Only 9 casualties for the forces of good. They have a very strong battlefield presence here. Not very many on the field. They didn't start with very many either. That was a truly brutal game for the Dunlending Orc Alliance. So with that, we'll count up the objectives. The good objective is in Good's hands for a victory point to Good. This objective well and truly for Good. The Warg Rider Captain, his Warg could have stayed, but it would have been out of range of the objective anyway. So that is 2 more points to Good for that objective. This one is just completely contested and is no one's objective. And then up here, Evil do have someone within 3. And even though they are outnumbered 2 to 1, this scenario, it doesn't matter how many guys you've got. If the other side have just 1, it does contest those back objectives. So it's just 2 there for Good. And then Thryden against Helm went towards Rohan's favour. And that net more victory points, along with breaking the evil force and not being broken, brings the total to 8-0. An 8-0 victory there for Rohan. Outnumbered nearly 2 to 1. They have swept the field of the evil Dunlendings and Orc filth. Despite the losses, Rohan have inflicted far more damage on their enemy, clearing the field and claiming victory. I hope that you've enjoyed this game. It was very, very strange. Did not expect Evil to get wiped out there. I thought that their overwhelming numbers would just bog down the forces of Good and overwhelm them. Again, I hope you enjoyed this game, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Oh.